Hey, good afternoon, team. It's Joe and
Abram.
Today, Abram, I thought we'd talk about our new guest service scores, which are our Qualtrics scores. For those team members that have been with us a long time, you remember last year even, that our scores used to go from a 1 to a 10. Well, we changed companies, we changed philosophies, and now our scores go from a 1 to a 5. And today we thought we'd talk a little bit about what those scores mean and why they're so important to us. So our scores are really based on guest expectation. So what does that mean? So our guests can go online, call the hotel, call a reservation center, and reserve a room here at the Hilton Austin, and they know exactly what they're going to pay before they get here. And what happens, Abram, is they get a vision in their mind of what they're going to get for what they paid. We call that value, right? So that's going to give them an approximate sense of value. And then they're going to base their reaction on what they got based on that initial vision, right? Well, that seems like that's sort of, nebulous, right? What does that all really mean? How does it work? Well, it's really easy. And today, Abram and I are going to show you with a graphic demonstration something I like to call the tale of the candy bar stores. So imagine you're a little hungry. You've been out working. Maybe it's break time and you got just a couple dollars in your pocket, right? And you're going to buy a candy bar. Abram, a chocolate candy bar.
Okay, sounds delightful.
Abram already has in his mind a vision of what that candy bar is going to look like. That's his expectation, right? So let's say right across from the hotel, there's 3 candy bar stores, and they all sell the exact same product, the exact same chocolate candy bars. So we go on over to candy bar store number 1, and we plop down our $2. And Abram, what do we get for that $2?
We get this bite-sized Hershey bar.
So you get a bite-sized Hershey bar. A week later, you get a survey to your email that says, hey, you were just in my candy bar store about a week ago. You had a purchase. Can you rate that on a 1 to a 5 for us? So, Abram, if you were that customer, what would you give that candy bar?
I'd probably give that candy bar a 1 or a 2 if I was feeling very generous.
A 1 or a 2. All right, so we all know what that means, right? That means that guest is probably not coming back. And we call those types of guests alienated, which means they're not going to give us another chance. So let's get back on track, Abram. Let's go to candy bar number 2. And for our $2, Abram, we get
a regular full-size Hershey's milk chocolate bar.
So, Abram, a week later, you get that survey in the mail. And how did that candy bar match up to your expectation?
It hit what my expectations were going to be. It was going to be just a regular full-size candy bar.
Exactly. But what was the score that you'd give it?
3 or 4.
A 3 or a 4. So you can see that when we deliver exactly what we're going to say we deliver, that doesn't mean that we've exceeded expectations. That means that we've met expectations, right? So 3s and 4s, when we're looking at our surveys, we call those guests at risk. They're at risk to go shopping somewhere else, to find another hotel, or in this case, Abram, another candy bar store.
Another candy bar store.
And there is one candy bar store that's left. So if we just mosey on down the street one more time, again, we pop down our $2 on the counter, and Abram, this candy bar store is dealing these bad boys out. Look at that. Now, I didn't do the math, but I can see on the back of the label here, it's only 140 calories per serving. However, there are 80 servings in this candy bar. But Abram, a week later, you get that same survey. It says, Abram, please evaluate your candy bar experience in our store. And you give it a
5, hands down.
A 5, because it exceeded expectations. When we exceed expectations, when we earn those 5s on those surveys, those are the guests that are going to be loyal to us. That means they're not looking for another hotel. They're not going to go anywhere else, whether it's a candy bar, a hotel, a rental car service. When you exceed expectations, you build guest loyalty. And that's why those 5s are so important to us. So every time we talk about our scores, when we talk about those percentages, those are just the percentages of our guests that gave us 5s. So when we get 70%, that's pretty good. But that means, Abram, 30% of those people are either at risk or alienated.
Yeah.
And we need to win them back. So remember, it's about exceeding guest expectations, about taking any situation and being a little bit more than our guests are going to expect. So until our next time, Abram,
I'm Abram.
And I'm Joe. If you come to Abram and let him know that you saw this pre-shift, you will get a ticket for the candy bar giveaway, and it's not these two. In our next CBR rally, we'll be giving away the 5-pound candy bar for just those that come to Abram and say, hey, I watched that pre-shift video. All right? So we'll see you next time.